Afternoon, friends. Ash here, WAT News. It's January the 28th, 2021, and there's a couple of interesting stories. First, I just wanted to cover GameStop real quick. Cesare Sacchetti was talking about it. Wall Street's carnage didn't happen by chance. Americans have allied themselves and started a massive shorting against the Wall Street hedge funds. In other words, the U.S. people crashed the globalist sharks who had financed the puppet Biden administration. So you can see how GameStop went crazy. It's gone all the way up over 300. How a bunch of Redditors with $600 stimulus checks outsmarted the craziest financial story of the week has got to be GameStop stock's meteoric rise from $6 a share to $340 a share overnight. So all these like hedge funds who had shorted it, and banked on it going down, they got destroyed. And now these guys have apparently moved into like the metal markets, and there's people that have been for years shorting those markets to make it so that gold and silver, stay at low prices, and they actually, a lot of people argue, should be worth a lot more money. So that's an interesting story. And then I caught this out of Gateway pundit Jim Hoff. This fair share is a bullshit concept. Hedge fund billionaire shows his ass on live TV, blames poor people for stock market mess. Billionaire hedge fund manager Leon Cooperman joined CNBC this morning and knew exactly who to blame, the poor people. Let's see if we can get the video here real quick. Let's see this guy freaking out. He probably lost his shirt. Is he not? It's not the video? Okay. Sorry, guys. I thought there was. Alright. Well, there's no video of it. No big deal. So, that was that. And then you saw GameStop, how Reddit traders occupied Wall Street's turf, from NPR. You can check this out if you want. There's a good chance you have heard that question many times. What's the deal with GameStop? With more than 5,000 stores, GameStop is a video game chain where customers can buy, sell, and trade their games, consoles, and gaming accessories. It's a mall staple, but shopping centers have been struggling for years. I mean, this thing was at $6, man. Can you imagine? You're holding on to some of this, and you're just hoping it goes back up, and then you wake up the next day and it's at 300. That's a big deal. I remember years ago I gave a friend, I wasn't investing at the time, but I was watching the market, and I gave a friend of mine this, some, biotech company, whatever. I heard rumors about it, and it was at like 5 or 6, and it went up to $80, and he only bought a small amount. But the only other crazy stock thing I remember was when, in 2008, when the market crashed. I was poor back then. I had no investments of any kind. I was just broke. And I was watching the ticker, and Citibank came across the ticker at $1 something a share. And I called every single friend I knew, and I said, hey man, you gotta buy some Citibank right now. It's not going to go out of business. Because I think Bear Stearns already had, and some others, so I thought Citibank would make it through. And they said, oh, you crazy man, no way. That would have been a good move in retrospect. But anyway, that's another story. Out of just the news, some blowback starting to come here to New York on Cuomo. New York AG report, Cuomo administration has severely undercounted COVID deaths in nursing homes. And I was talking about this months ago. The Cuomo administration likely subtracted thousands of deaths of nursing home residents when the figures are presented. Yeah, I mean, I had heard anywhere from 10 to 12,000 people, in the homes, because he has certain nursing homes that fall under the state's purview, and he pumped those people from hospitals back into those places on purpose when he had the ship and he had the Javits Center available to him, and he didn't, of course, use it, right? Letitia James, the New York State Attorney General, is accusing the Cuomo administration of severely undercounting the coronavirus-related deaths that have occurred in nursing homes by up to 50%, according to a report released Thursday. The exact number of nursing home deaths is an issue that had plagued the New York Governor, Anthony Cuomo, who was hailed by the media and political allies for his initial pandemic response when the state was the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak. The governor and the state health department have been sensitive since last spring to accusations that any actions of theirs could be tied to the more than 8,500 officially reported deaths in New York State nursing homes. The 76-page report by James, reported Thursday in the New York Times, found consistent and significant discrepancies between the number of deaths reported to the Office of the Attorney General by nursing homes and the death count officially released by the New York Health Department. Quote, preliminary data obtained by OAG suggests that many nursing home residents died from COVID-19 in hospitals after being transferred from their nursing homes, which is not reflected in DOH's published total nursing home death data, reads a summary of the AG's report. In particular, Cuomo's been criticized for a late March memorandum from his health department that instructed nursing homes to accept patients with coronavirus into their facilities. In many cases, the illness then rapidly spread to other nursing home residents. However, the health department in July issued a report that refuted the claim that the March policy led to a significant number of nursing home outbreaks. The report by James, a Democrat, pits her against Cuomo, a fellow party member. Nursing home residents and their families, especially those who have lost parents and grandparents, have consistently accused the governor of failing to protect a vulnerable population, then repeatedly failing to accept responsibility for a number of decisions that led to thousands of deaths. Yeah, and I think the thing that people aren't understanding is, in my opinion, he did that on purpose. He was told to do it, to swell the death count, right? They wanted to run the fear train, right? And that's what they did. So here's another, I hate to share the times, but I'll do it once. New York severely undercounted virus deaths in nursing homes. So, it's coming back on you, man. And you didn't have to handle things. That's why Trump sent the ship. Doesn't everyone know that? I mean, everyone should have seen that at the time. If they didn't, they should see it now. That's why Trump did that, to counteract what he knew he was doing, in my view. We're doing the right thing. Maricopa County announces it will audit its 2020 election equipment. All right, so here's where we go, because I reported on the EAC a while back, and a woman named Jessica Bowers who works there, right? Now, Jessica Bowers used to work at Dominion Voting Systems, and I can prove that she did, and I can also prove that she was the one present when the state of Pennsylvania, Kathy Boockvar, tested the Dominion machines and approved them before the election of 2020. I have the document that I did this in another dig, and I can't find it. It was like a while back. It was at least a month or two ago, where I was looking into the EAC in this small agency, and I'm wondering, of all the people you could hire there, why would you hire someone named Jessica Bowers who was a Dominion employee, right? And also who was present in at least one state that we know of, and may have been responsible or present in other states where the Dominion voting systems were either shown off or approved or signed off on, right? So she may have had other states where she was involved in getting the machines in there, right? Which is what her job was. She worked at Dominion for 10 years. So Maricopa County decided, we'll do the audit, but we're not going to use Jovan Pulitzer's method. There's only 2 people we can use, and those companies, of course, are some of the ones that people are alleging have done, malfeasance. So the Board of Supervisors of Maricopa County, Arizona, voted this week to audit the election equipment it used in 2020 election, following months of allegations of election irregularities there and elsewhere around the country. The supervisors voted unanimously in favor of the audit. The county said Wednesday on its website. Both audits will take place early next month. Next month? Oh, wow, okay. Well, we're at the end of this one, so yeah, sorry. That seemed like a lot further away. We're doing the right thing at the right time, and in the right way, Board Vice Chairman Bill Gates said. Another Bill Gates? Great. The audit will be conducted in a way that safeguards private voter info and protects the investment made by county taxpayers in the tabulation equipment. These guys, Dominion, have all these things you have to sign. You can't speak about proprietary stuff and this and that. Board member Clint Hickman expressed hope that the audit will put to rest the notion that somehow we've got something to hide. The county is utilizing 2 outside firms, which Pro V&V and SLI Compliance, to conduct the audit. Pro V&V was at the center of some controversy late last year when it was revealed that the company was overseeing audits of Dominion voting equipment in Georgia, even as it had overseen testing of Dominion software for years. And here's another article about it from Gateway, Joe Hoft, breaking exclusive, same class clandestine companies involved in the certification of Dominion voting systems in the 2020 results in Georgia were chosen for the upcoming Arizona audit. So, Arizona's Maricopa County Board finally agreed to an election audit, but they're going to use the same two companies again, right? So that's the problem that they have with it, is these two companies. They don't want them to use this. They want them to use Jovan Pulitzer's method, and they won't do it because they're saying that his method is not sanctioned by the EAC. It has to be EAC sanctioned. Secretary of State Raffensperger used Dominion-linked Pro V&V, an Alabama-based testing lab, to do the Georgia audit of the Dominion machines. The company announced it found no evidence of the machines being tampered. This should tell you something. So you can check that out. I don't want to go too long today. Save the voice. How can the government agency certifying elections, the EAC, maintain its independence when its CIO previously worked for 10 years for Dominion voting systems? So a former Dominion employee for 10 years who represented Dominion in certifying its Pennsylvania implementation of its democracy suite in 2017 now works for the government agency that certifies voting machine systems. Jeff Carlson at the MarketsWorks created a report in November about the voting machine certification process. I don't know if this was the article I actually covered when it came out. Let me just see if it jogs anything in my memory. No, I don't think so. No, I reported on this a while back, and I can't remember how I found out about it. It may have been from Tori Says show. I'll check into that in a minute. Yeah, so Jeff Carlson, an understaffed tiny federal agency and two private testing labs responsible for certification of nation's voting systems. The fallout of the November 3rd elections has put the spotlight on the integrity of electronic voting machines used in the United States. Yeah, so here we come into Bowers. Okay, so a deeper look into the certification process used of the machines, however, reveals that the main certification agency in the United States, the Federal Election Assistance Commission, EAC, maintains an unexpectedly small staff, and one of its chief employees is a former executive of Dominion. Carlson was referring to Jennifer Bowers, who worked for Dominion for 10 years. So Bowers is now the acting CIO, CISO, or was. Now she is. Jessica Bowers joined the EAC testing and certification program as a senior election technology specialist in May 2019. She manages voting system testing and certification projects, as well as assisting the development of new voluntary voting system guidelines. Prior to joining the EAC, she was the director of certification for a voting system manufacturer, but they don't mention which one, that it's Dominion, and has worked in the election industry and software development and certification since 2008. She has over 20 years experience, blah, blah, blah. Notably, the EAC doesn't mention Dominion in Bowers' bio. Exactly, they don't even mention it. Because they don't want you to know. Just some voting system manufacturer. According to Carlson, Bowers actually represented Dominion in Pennsylvania certification of Dominion. It must have been this article, yeah, because this is where I got the PDF. So let's go back to here's the article, and he connects to the PDF, okay, which will show that, hang on, let me find it. And also, here's the other thing. When you search Dominion, if you search EAC plus Jessica Bowers now, her bio won't come up. I couldn't get access to it, which is here. Okay, and the search I did was Jessica Bowers plus EAC. Okay, and it should be right here. But when I try to access it, somebody scrubbed their profile off there. Because when I looked on it before, when I was doing the original video about this particular subject, it came up and it was in the video. I know it was. So anyway, They scrubbed it. Somebody did. Kathy Boockvar, just 2 weeks after she was appointed as PA's Secretary of the Commonwealth, concluded in the January 17, 2019 PDF that Dominion's Democracy Suite 5.5a voting machine can be safely used. Right, so I have the document right here. This is the Dominion Democracy Suite final report scanned with signature. I'll go back. I just want to show you that Jessica Bowers, Director of Certification, and Matt Coffey, System Specialist, represented Dominion. This took place. This was the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Department of State report concerning the examination results of Dominion voting systems, Democracy Suite 5.5a with ImageCast, X ballot marking device, ImageCast precinct optical scanner, and ImageCast central station. So this is for the whole system. It's a 107-page PDF. I covered it in the other video, but I just can't find it. It was it's a while back in November, December time. I won't go into the details. You can look at it yourself. It's just giving all the detail of what they did upon the request of Dominion Voting System, the Department of State's Bureau of Commissions, and they did it. They scheduled a test. System presented for certification. And on page 3, you could see who was available, who was there at that particular meeting where the software was all shown and it was displayed and it was shown how it works, and then eventually it was signed off on. The people representing Dominion were Jessica Bowers and Matt Coffey. So I'll include that in the links. Now the question is, was this person taken out from Dominion and put into the EAC to make sure that these Dominion machines would be put into certain states that were necessary to win, right? Because they know what states they're going to have to win. One of those is Pennsylvania, right? One of those is maybe Georgia. One of those is certain states that they needed, Michigan, right? Wisconsin, those states that are now in... they made sure that they had to put these machines into certain states. Well, how can I make sure that that happens? How about if I take Jessica Bowers, right, and I leave her from Dominion and I put her into the EAC, which is the one place that can okay who gets to sign off on these machines being put in and who signs off on them being validated. Right? Now I can prove that she still was there at least by May 18th, 2020, because she authored this particular update to the EAC's election security preparedness page. Its author is Jessica Bowers and Joshua Michael Franklin, and this was on May 18th, 2020. So we know she was there at least from that point. So the question is, when does she get to the EAC? What does she do there? Does she do anything untoward in terms of allowing the Dominion systems into these states? Is there something done where she's obviously the mechanism, in my view, of how it was done? How we can push these machines into the state where it's not already in that state? And if we have her signing off on all the stuff, that's going to help Dominion, right? So the question is going to be, who signed off on Jessica Bowers going to the EAC when they did their due diligence on where she worked for 10 years? They either ignored the fact that it was Dominion, who was one of the voting machines that were now going to be being voted on, or they knew, right? There can't be any other explanation. You either knew that she worked for Dominion for 10 years and therefore you were part of it, or you can play stupid and say you never looked at her resume, or she lied on her resume and told you she worked for some other company. I don't know. But the point is, they either didn't do their due diligence or they were part of it. That's my take on that. And as far as I know, I don't know if Jessica Bowers is still employed, but it's funny that this has changed. And did it change because of the article that came out in the Gateway Pundit, which was this article that actually names Bowers? And I don't know if they had come out with another article in the past, but it's starting to break now about Bowers more. And I remember talking about this several months ago. So I won't go too long. I'll leave it there. The other thing that was scary was this particular gentleman who was a meme maker, apparently is getting indicted and is facing like up to 10 years in prison, basically, just for like making memes. So it's getting kind of scary. And that's about it for now, guys. There's some more stuff going on, but I don't want to get too out of hand. Check Gateway real quick. White House press sec Psaki evades question about Joe Biden's record number of executive orders. I mean, yeah, I think he's done like 37 now or something. It's pretty insane. Also, keep looking at the back of these windows every time he signs. See if you could see anything look strange. I've seen some lighting that looks like it's in the windows on some of the times that looks odd. Dictator Biden signs 2 executive orders. They're really showing you, what Biden's doing, right? He's taking everything apart that Trump did. He's taking apart all the good measures that Trump has put in place, some would say, right? Bringing manufacturing back, stuff like that. And it's showing it to you, right? I mean, who's ever come into the presidency and done 35 or 37 executive orders in 1 week? I don't remember anybody doing it, right? Just completely. What about a press conference? Has he done one? Not yet. How about a press conference where you talk to the press and answer some questions in a coherent manner for more than 5 seconds or 5 minutes? How about a really in-depth press conference where you're taking questions from an open pool of reporters, right? He's not doing that. So you're seeing what's going on. They got Washington, D.C. locked down. And you saw Washington, D.C. was incorporated a state within a state, right? Well, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. They're dismantling the state within a state right now in front of your very eyes. The U.S. corporation, right? It's being dissolved right in front of your eyes. That's what I think. And we'll keep our eyes peeled on how more information that comes out, right? That's all we can do. We'll follow the info where it leads us. But Jessica Bowers is something that needs to be looked into. The EAC either made a critical mistake or they allowed a Dominion employee into the EAC, and then that employee then allowed Dominion machines to go into states like Pennsylvania, maybe Georgia, and others. And that's a problem if that's what happened and they didn't know about it. And it's a problem if they did know about it and they hired this person, because she should have never been hired at the EAC, in my opinion. So with that, friends, I hope you're having a great day. This is Ash, WAT News, signing off for now.